That is it. We are live. Hello, Nicola.
Hello, Amanda Delaney.
How are you, honey? I love the way we can jump on this call. Nicola's here. Nicola, you just hang on there. I'm going to stream this live. Not even a hello. How was your day? What are we going to talk about? It's just like, right, come on, let's have this conversation on Facebook.
Yeah, that's just it. We always did that, though.
I know.
Remember those conversations in the back garden?
No, look at your house. It looks amazing.
I'm having a wobble. Can I talk to you about it, please? Let's go live and discuss it, because if we discuss it live and we discover things about ourselves, it might be a golden nugget of wisdom to give to the world.
Always thinking of others. Always. What do you say? Don't waste that, and that comes out of your mouth. And I
record it.
That and that falls out of your mouth, you can have it.
Yeah, it's yours. It's a gift.
That's my new one. That's my new one. Record.
Yeah.
So listen, we've only got less than a week to go. I can't believe it, because we were all excited. Everybody was ready to go for our traditional workshop, and then boom, COVID hit, and that was it. It was over.
Yeah.
But it's not over.
No, it was a bit strange for the first day or two, because it was like shut down shop. Everybody was shutting down shop. And I sat with it for like 2 or 3 days, and I was like, we don't really need to shut down shop.
We live on Facebook.
Sure, we're constantly recording. Like, why can't we just do it the way that we do this? And we're in a lucky enough position, Amanda, that we're energetic enough that we can still connect with an audience through a camera, and we have that touch. We can still touch people via a camera. And you can't teach that to people. You either have that or you don't. And we're lucky that and I say that from a very humble space, like we're lucky that we have that.
The energy. Everybody's always saying that. Where'd you get your energy? You're so energetic. But that's just, and at first I used to be like, am I really? And then I just presumed everybody was like this.
And so did I. But it's presumption is the mother of all F-ups, as we say. But another thing that people say about you and I all the time is the eye contact.
Yeah. So the last time we did one of these, actually, I'm going to speak into my camera and stop looking at you because it looks better. And the last time we did one of these, I couldn't hear you at all.
No, I'm not joking, Amanda. I'm not joking. That was mental. Like the trust, the confidence that you had.
But watching it back was hilarious, because we were finishing each other's sentence regardless, and I couldn't even hear you.
Yeah, but I would love to know if anybody else in the history of all time has ever done that. I don't know anybody else who has ever done that, who can conduct an interview when your sound is not working and you can still conduct an interview with me and it'd still be brilliant.
But it was spot on. The conversation flowed. Crazy. But anyway, we're here to talk about values. And you know what? It just keeps coming up. And I know you've been doing workshops. I've been working with a massive amount of clients. I've had 72 people this week in the video challenge. And it's just crucial in your business and your life. It is the core of who you are. And this is why this is so important that we do this workshop. I loved looking back. I put out a little clip of our talk. And it was just like, there were so many clips I could have put out. I was like, how do I choose? So I might just keep breaking them up and putting them out. Because
I agree. I think you should do that.
They're powerful. But what's going to happen on Wednesday? Because they can look at the YouTube and they can find that information. What is going to happen on Wednesday, Nicola?
Okay. Well, from my perspective,
this is our plan of meeting for Wednesday.
Huh?
This is our plan of meeting for Wednesday.
Yeah, this is our plan of meeting. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to shut down this laptop here in front of me because the processor is gone bananas. And I don't want that sound picked up on this lovely live stream. So I'm just shutting that down so that sound stops. Sorry about that, guys, if you can hear that. I clearly need a new laptop, which I'm in the process of trying to research. But on Wednesday, for me, like I cannot think, Amanda, of a better time than right now in the middle of a pandemic to be able to work out what your values are. I ask people the question all the time. So do you know what your values are? And the answer always is, yeah, I do. And I'm like, so tell me them. And then they're like, And they genuinely don't know, simply because they've never honored themselves enough with the time to be able to sit down and work out what that is. We've
But
had
nobody tells us to do that, Nicola. Like when I came across these, I stumbled across them. And then it just changed the whole, everything in my life changed.
Yeah.
And I did it on
So we
purpose.
have all of these years of education, and we've all of these seminars and workshops, and we fly to different countries to learn. Nobody ever settles down to say, let's work out who you are. Let's work out your values. Let's teach you how to love yourself correctly. Nobody ever does that. Nobody ever does. We're picking up little bits here and there all the time, piecemealing situations. This is going to be a massive investment in you, because if you don't know what your values are, I can guarantee you that you're bumping off walls every day of the week, and, you know, in the wrong relationship, in the wrong career, arguing with people, coming across confrontation, having anxiety, flippy stomachs, headaches, all this kind of crack. I actually got 2 messages this morning from people.
Sorry, I'm just going to message my son to get off the internet because it's unstable here.
Okay. Yeah, we're at that lot these days. Messaging the kids, get off the Wi-Fi. It's awful, isn't it?
Oh.
No. But I keep saying to my clients in the private membership group, if we can't get this down now, if we can't work out our values now, if we can't work out our boundaries now, if we can't work out a vision statement for where we're going now in the middle of a pandemic, when we don't have to travel to work, when we don't have to do all the run around in the evening, when we are the stillest we have been in forever, right? And bearing in mind, lads, this time is not going to be repeated. It's not likely in our lifetime we will ever live through another pandemic.
Hopefully, please God, never.
If we can't pin this down now and get it right now, I doubt it seriously if we're ever going to get it right when it goes back to normal.
No, and I agree. And as I said, going back and seeing it in, you know, in business owners, at the end of the day, I work with business owners. They're people. This is a people thing. This is a person thing. And the other thing I found is when I know who I am, when I look at the business I've built now, I put a lot of that, I would say 70% down to knowing who I am and nailing my values.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is why Gary Vaynerchuk says constantly, I don't care about the opinions of others, whether it's positive or negative, because I know who I am. Yes. When you know who you are and you're standing on your values daily and letting them operate in action, you're bulletproof to stuff. You don't crumble when you're attacked, and you don't fluff your feathers up when you're complimented, because you don't need it. Compliments are nice, they're lovely to receive. However, it should never be needed. And that's the space that I want to get our clients into, is not having to crave that and not need that, or crumble and, you know, being a hula hoop on the ground if they're in a confrontation situation, or if they're being attacked or overly questioned or critiqued, or somebody's trying to cut the legs from underneath you.
Oh, even when you said that word, when you're in confrontation, I got a shiver of an old memory, because I used to cringe if I thought I had to go into confrontation. I mean cringe. I mean, I would just go underneath your feet and let you stamp all over me if I thought there was going to be a row.
Yeah.
Not anymore. And I don't row either, which is lovely.
Very important. Very important. It's really important, Amanda. I actually only had this conversation with one of the girls last night in the group. She was talking about putting a boundary in place with a person who's very close to her. And she did put the boundary in place. And there was a standoff. And she asked me, should I go back again and put that boundary in place? No. No need. No need. Because now that is going into confrontation. Never ever mix up a confrontation with a standard of a boundary, okay? A confrontation is when you're going out looking for a row. When you put a boundary in, that's just you respecting what's appropriate and inappropriate for you. But also learning the difference between putting a boundary in the space of love and putting a boundary in the space of fear. If she had went back for another pound of flesh, that's operating from a boundary in fear. Whereas I've said it now, and I am okay enough in myself to step back and just let that be.
What's that thing you used to say? The first person who speaks after that loses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Zip
it.
Don't see. I did it again.
Throw away the key.
Zip it.
Zip it, sister. Stop talking. You've said it now.
Why do you keep saying that to you? Can you get off the Wi-Fi? Why? Because I said so.
Why?
Why?
Does he not know who you are?
Why?
With regard to the boundaries and going back for a second pound of flesh, arguing with a fool only proves that there's two. If you feel like you need to argue your point, you've lost the situation.
I love that. For anybody who knows me, that's a scripture in the Bible. I love it. Yeah. Fools become two. Don't lower yourself down to that.
No. You know. No, I saw a meme on Facebook recently. My self-esteem isn't low enough to get into this.
Says it all, doesn't it?
Come on, people.
I'm just going to check on the page. I'm going to check on the page, see if there's any questions. If you've had any questions, fire them in here. I'm going to have a look at the comments there. And there's two comments. Oh, hang on,
why is my phone not charging? Why is that happening? I'm just going to check the switch on the wall.
She can't wait for Wednesday.
Who said that, Amanda?
And Rosemary Ryan is saying, I love this. Gillian Kyo. Yeah, so it is happening on Wednesday. So what is happening on Wednesday is we are running the workshop.
I'm just checking the wall, honey. Hang on 1 sec.
Go on. We are going to be doing we're going to be on Zoom like this. So you're going to have the two of us side by side, and we're going to be streaming live into a private Facebook group from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. That's the plan, isn't it, Nicola?
That's the
2 hours. That's the plan. We both like to talk, but the plan is for 2 hours. And you will have access to that group then for 2 whole weeks. So if you really are interested in nailing down your values and totally getting understanding around what does that look like, what does that feel like, how do I identify them, but 2, how do I live by them?
Yes.
So it's not just saying, oh, now I have five lovely titles. It's, oh, no. How do I actually start to create the life and live the life that I always wanted and craved? Now we're saying when you identify the values, that's one part, but we're going into the second part, which is what does that behavior look like for that value? And we will be going into the nice side of it and the not so nice side of it, so that when you bump into that, you can spot it a mile away without having to second guess yourself.
You're prepared.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing, lads. You know, all of the nice stuff and the nice side of it is wonderful and it's great and it gives you confidence to know, I am getting that bit right. But you're never learning anything new in that space. You're only ever going to learn new things about you and stretching and growing you in the stuff that isn't working for you. It's that bit that I'm interested in. It's that bit that I want to get into, the deep, dark, dirty, juicy part of that, to do a deep dive in there and allow yourself to get uncomfortable, but so you can swim out the other side and come out nice and clean. Yeah. We're not dipping our toe into anything anymore. We're going for
go in. Go all in. You know, and that's the thing. Like when I did the homework, the paperwork, and it was hours, and I sat and I done it and I figured it out, and I was like, okay, that was just the beginning. Then you get hit by something and you're like, okay, now this is the test. This is the real test. Am I going to remain true to that value that I now know is mine? Or am I going to let it down?
Yes.
And bow down.
And here's the other thing. Here's the other thing, Amanda, right? We like people to say to me, oh, you know, I can't wait to just be like you. Lads, this work, like, don't think for 1 second I'm not challenged. I was challenged this morning. And I was faced and it always happens when you're under pressure and you're blindsided. So I was under pressure for a couple of minutes this morning, time-wise. One call had run on and I knew I was going into another. And in the middle of that, I got a phone call and I needed to make a decision in that phone call, right? And you know what happened to me? For 5 minutes, I compromised my own values in those 5 minutes. But see, when I got off that call and I realized, Conley, you have a flippy stomach. You just said something that is not in alignment with your values. I got straight back on the phone to that person. I said, listen,
Right.
no. You see the way I said that? I said that in a moment of utter madness. Service ring. I'm terrible, sorry.
All right.
I had to go back and retract it.
Yeah.
And put it right. And the person said, fair play, I really admire that. Because you have to have, you have to have gumption, and you have to be true to yourself. Because
Well,
if you're
here's
saying
from somebody, you're to saying that, and that's reminded me of something I did only just before all this pandemic stuff. And I would look at you as someone, and it has all together. And I said this over and over. I learned so much by being around you. Because when I was new to it, I was at every one of Nicola's workshops, even going for a cup of coffee. I'd be watching how she'd conduct, how she'd speak to people. And we say you're the average of the top 5 people that you hang out with. So it really did help to be around her, even watching her on social media, because she's the same all day long. And I was new to kind of living, after identifying them, now living them. Now, I said it before, I'm doing personal development years. Values came out of the blue for me. Okay, they came out of the blue a couple of years back. But then having a role model like Nicola, to have somebody to watch them actually congruently all day, every day, gives you the courage. So I wouldn't have said I would have been as strong as you. But since the last 4 years, I can see the growth in me, the massive difference. And the real thing was, I had a situation like that a few weeks ago. And I said something, and it was like I was having an out-of-body experience. And when I got home, I had a flippy stomach. I was off, and I said, I didn't mean a word of what came out of my mouth. And I got on the phone the next morning, and I said, see what I just said? That wasn't my truth. I didn't mean that.
Yeah.
And it felt so freeing. And freedom is just priceless. To have that freedom of speech, freedom just to speak your mind. And before, that would have meant weeks of this.
Yes. Do you know Neil Bourne? Do you know Neil Bourne? Now, he said that to me last night. Neil Bourne said to me last night, there was another challenge yesterday, 2 of them actually. And Neil said to me last night, Nick, I'm so proud of you. And I said, why? And he said, because those 2 challenges 5 years ago would have sent you to the bed. Yeah. And you handled them in minutes, and you put your phone down, and it's done now. Yeah. And I said, Jesus, you're right. You're actually right. Yeah. So the challenges still come, lads, but it's how you choose to handle the challenges. And sometimes you might not even handle them the way that in alignment with your values in the moment, but it's having the confidence and the tools to be able to go back and put it right. There's never a day that you will arrive and say, I have it all now.
But you know what just came to me there when you said that? In the beginning, I mightn't have had the confidence immediately to go back and write it like I did a few weeks ago. But having the awareness in the beginning is what teaches us. Because now you can see it coming. And when you can see it, you can't unsee it. And that when you know, and I've heard you say this loads of times, the awareness comes. But now the awareness comes, but you've got knowledge to back it up. That it's your values that's, and this is what, when I got that, I went, oh, that's why I've got flippy stomach. That's why it's my gut feeling, because now I heard all about that, but I didn't understand my values. But now when I knew and I identified, that's why that is, because that's my value and that's not my value. And that's why I'm getting a flippy stomach. Sounds so common sense stuff, but it isn't, because nobody teaches us this.
Yeah, 100%. Can I explain a value to me that happened this morning? That's really, really simple, but that it breaks it down for you, that stuff that you have to deal with on a challenging daily basis. So, for example, I got up this morning and I got ready. And I knew that I had like a fairly breezy morning, like it was fairly breezy. So I got up and I dressed in casual clothes. So I have a casual t-shirt on, I have ripped black jeans, and I have a little pair of black pointy pumps. Lovely, lovely. But then I said, I was going on a call with a girl in the States there at 1:00. And I was like, well, I better put on my professional clothes, because I'm dealing with a new girl and she's in the States. And straight after, I know that I'm going into this meeting with Amanda Delaney, and we're going to be speaking to all her people and da 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 da. And I went, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. You are in the business of showing up for who you are, Connie. And look what's written on your t-shirt. Thank you, next. Self-love club. I mean, Amanda, look, we're both wearing black and white. You think we planned it? But thank you, next, for me. I know that it's an Ariana Grande song and Charlie loves it, and I brought her to see her last year. That's why I bought this t-shirt. But for me, thank you, next has a deeper meaning. Wearing casual clothes is actually a value of mine, and showing up as who you are, no matter what. But thank you, next, to me means next lesson, I'm building, next lesson. Thank you, got that, next. Thank you, I got that, what's next? Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. I am so thirsty, Amanda, for knowledge. I'm so thirsty to be better tomorrow than I am today. And I am so thirsty to share this knowledge with anybody who fucking listen to me.
And that's plenty of people, honey.
You know what I mean? And I could do this stuff all day long, Amanda, because I'm so passionate about it. And in actual fact, when you released that video yesterday, I got a message from another Amanda publicly, a girl that I grew up in Edinburgh where I'm from, and she said, Nicola, you could actually feel the passion.
Yeah, you could. I was watching it again like I'd never seen it before.
Yeah.
I was standing beside
you. Yeah, because look, I know the majority of our clients are female, and they're similar age to us, but we do deal with, you know, businesses and men and children and clubs and whatever it might be. But really, my core major passion is helping women empower themselves out of whatever situation it is that they're in right now. And values is a major booster to be able to get there. Because
I'm raging. And I know, when I say I'm raging, I know everything happens for a reason on your journey. But there's part of me that goes, this was the foundation I would have liked to build on. You know, because if I didn't know that years ago, all the other work would have made more sense.
I know, honey, but at the end of the day, Amanda, if you hadn't had all the life experiences that you had, that has given you a deeper knowledge and a deeper understanding of the stuff that you want to teach. So Amanda needed to learn values on the day that Amanda learned values.
Oh, I know, I get that. But I just feel like, yeah, do you know what? I'm going to let that talk go, because there's no point in feeling that. And it is the way it is. And I am who I am today. And I'm very, very passionate about values, as you know. But
you know what's great about that, Amanda? You know what's brilliant about that? We're great mold breakers for our pasts and creating new molds for the future. But what's brilliant about you at the stage that you are right now and where I am right now is that we have an opportunity to give it to people at a younger age. We're giving it to our kids. We're giving it to our clients' kids. And that's like winning the Euro Millions for me now.
Generations.
That's Euro Million stuff to me. That's like getting a bonus in my wages on the 25th of every month. Come on, people.
Powerful. It is powerful.
So
they're breaking it there again. I don't know whether. Hold on. I'm trying to see if there's any questions here. So excited, Michelins. Could listen to you both all day. You'd even forget you were on video, wouldn't you, Nicola?
Yeah, I don't see video cameras anymore. I don't see them.
I just feel like we're having a chat. So much knowledge. Thank you for doing this. It's always great to reinforce these lessons. That's a true story, because the night before the schools were told to close down, I don't even think I've said this on my social media. I took the night off by myself and went away for just one night, Amanda Delaney only. I've been looking for that for years. And
Yeah.
I looked at my values and I took long walks by myself, had dinner by myself. I looked at my values again. And as we spoke about before, well, we tried to, I couldn't hear her. And there's a hierarchy. So while your values don't change, sometimes you'll just shift them up. So they'll go up higher. And for me, do you know what came up this time was? Because I was all honesty, transparency, and don't get me wrong, they're huge on my, they're high up. Freedom. Freedom and peace came rising to the top 4 years after I first discovered them.
Yeah.
And your Neil said it on the call the other day about peace. And I could totally relate to him. You know what? You can take everything that's in my house, every stick of furniture, but you can't take my peace.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And another thing, I just thought of another story to tell your community there, that this morning, like lads, the challenges aren't going away. The challenges are always coming. But when you know your values and you know who you are and you have your confidence in place and it's easier. I've spoke about this a lot on social media. People used to challenge me regularly, and situations used to challenge me regularly over valuing myself. Okay. And you'll remember that there was a big shift for me about 3 or 4 years ago when I was challenged quite publicly about me valuing me. Yeah. And that's how the tall poppy story came about, when somebody tried to cut the legs from under me.
Who do you think you are? Who do you think
who do you think you are? I had that this morning, lads. I had a message this morning questioning value. Literally questioning value. And on the inside, how it was said was quite direct, and they were looking for like a 70% discount off a particular service. And I'm like, this person's looking for me to operate at a minus here because I have a team of people that I need to pay. And straight away, my whole body had a physical reaction to that. But I pressed pause before I hit send. And I sat with it and I went, if I'm having a physical, emotional reaction to this is one of my values. This is one of my values being triggered right here. So I need to sit with this. So I just made sure that I replied in such a way that that person knew that I know who I am. And this is where my value and my boundary lies. So that will be a no. But thank you. Next. I was very proud of myself, Amanda. Very proud of myself.
Well, I'm glad you were, because it does, as you said, you're not just there. You never just arrive. You're always developing and growing and learning. I'm going to just see if there are any more questions here. Love this. Hi, guys. No more questions. Okay. So the next thing you need to do is book your tickets. That's it. And we'll see you on Wednesday. It's as simple as that. The tickets are in. I put the link here on top of this, but you will find them in my event space on the business page. And it's going to be amazing.
It is going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to it.
Plenty of tickets gone already, but it's going to be amazing. Yeah. Feels like ages. Feels like ages since we've done a workshop.
Yeah, but it feels like ages since I've seen you.
I know. And yet we see each other. I know. Virtual hugs.
I know. I said to Neil, you better start practicing hugging me differently because you're giving me the same hug all the time. I need different hugs. Imagine.
Oh, well, at least you're not living with somebody who's walking around the house naked with a dicky bow and a hat on. And anybody who's in the video challenge, all 70s, will know what I'm talking about. Today, we had a different 3-piece suit and the hair all down with Mr. Serious this morning. He's been a different character every day. He's had everybody entertained. So it's just
he's so creative, isn't he?
It's been brilliant.
He's so
You'll
creative.
Have to come on the next challenge, Nicola.
Huh? I'd love to.
You'll have to come to the next challenge. It is the crack. It really is the crack.
Yeah.
Had a ball that week.
Brilliant.
But that's it. I'm looking at me. That's the worst part. looking at me.
Balayage, come on, people. Come on.
I always want I got rid of me roots.
Oh, lucky girl.
I tell you, it makes you see what's important, doesn't it? And that was not important.
No.
That was not
I can
important.
still rock
right, we love you and leave you guys. Yeah. But everybody's in the same boat. I was out for a run yesterday. There's a girl I know waving at me, and I was like, she's roots like me. We all the same boat, like, so it doesn't matter. We're not in the same boat. What was that thing going around? We're not in the same boat. We're in the same storm.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Did you not read it? There was a post going around.
Didn't see it.
We're all in different boats, but we're in the same storm. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, we're all going through different things in our own.
Absolutely. Amanda, thanks so much for having me on.
You're welcome very much. So any more questions, leave them in the comments and I'll get back to them. Or if you've any questions about the workshop or anything like that at all, leave them below in the comments and I'll get back to you folks. All right?
Brilliant.
Okay, we'll stop this live streaming.